First of all, thanks to whoever pointed out to me that this is in fact not a Spanish movie, because while they do speak Spanish, it's actually an Argentinian production. But I do feel like the Spanish-speaking world has really taken over this genre lately. The sort of mystery thriller genre with perhaps some supernatural or sci-fi elements. Because I've seen a number of those in the past year and they've all been pretty good. So I had my hopes up for this one too, even though I wasn't familiar with the people involved. But did it stand up to my expectations? Well, sorta, at least to some extent. Because first of all, it's a really slick and good looking movie. It's well shot and put together and the acting is really excellent too. Especially by the main guy, Joaquin Furriel. I loved him in this. I even liked the score quite a bit, I thought it worked really well. And for the most part the writing was pretty solid too, I had very few issues with it. That being said, I did have a few issues with it. I don't think the story here was perfect. But what's the premise here? Well, it's about this middle-aged artist, a painter, and his younger Norwegian wife who's some sort of scientist, and they're trying to have a baby. And it's one of these movies where I feel like treading very carefully about what I say and don't say, because it's sort of difficult to talk about without giving anything away. But let's just say that things get strange very quickly. People start behaving oddly and you're not really sure what's going on. Is it just the case of a typical artist losing his mind kind of trope, or is it something else? And I wasn't really sure which character to trust and what to believe either, which I'm sure is very intentional to keep the suspense up and the mystery going. And it did a very good job with that. I really liked how they handled it. It just gave the whole movie this sense of things slowly spiraling out of control. It's also one of these movies that jumps around in the timeline a little bit. On the one hand, we follow this artist guy after a certain, shall we say, event took place. So you know something's gonna happen, we just don't know exactly what. And on the other hand, we follow the same guy in the time leading up to the event. So we get to slowly discover what did actually happen and why it happened. And I feel like that was relatively well handled too, no real issues there. So overall I liked most aspects of this movie, but as I said, there are a few issues. Or technically only one, I guess. I would have liked a little bit more clarity on a few things. Because the thing that's going on in the background, the mystery, the thing that's driving the story and that's keeping this suspense going, it's not ever really explained. It's kinda explained but not really. I would have liked a few more details on what exactly was going on. And perhaps even more importantly, why it was going on. Because I didn't feel like that part was pretty much explained at all. The motivations behind it all, why things went the way they did. And I figured they'd leave that to the very end, but no. The end is pretty much just as vague and doesn't really explain anything either, which honestly left me feeling a bit disappointed and dissatisfied. And that is a shame since I liked just about everything else about this movie. I would have just wanted some more details and a bit of clarification on a few issues. However, I will also admit that sometimes I miss a crucial clue or two. Maybe the clues are there, maybe I could get my answers by rewatching it and paying closer attention. And I really do hope that's the case, but I'm not convinced it is. Because I really didn't pick up on much of anything as far as the true motivations for what was going on went. So overall I'd say this is a pretty good movie with some great moments, some great suspense and mystery. But at the end of the day it did leave me feeling a bit dissatisfied. Just one too many unanswered questions for my personal liking. But would I recommend it? Yeah, I do think it's still worth giving a shot. So maybe check it out, maybe don't. After all, I'm not your dad. But I am trying to sell out, so consider liking, subbing, hitting that bell and supporting me on Patreon. Because I really need to build myself an artist studio in the attic. And hey, why not drop a comment below or check out another review? I'd appreciate it. Thanks.